Low, resonant, spoken as if by the mountain itself. I was meant to last forever. Ice carved me. Rivers gnawed at me. Even fire could not unmake me. But when men split my skin with steel and bled one another across my slopes, something deep inside me finally whispered back. If you're ready to step into the slow heartbeat of eternity, to hear what stone remembers, and what it fears, then like this video, subscribe, and prepare yourself for the unsettling tale of whispers in stone. I do not live as you live. I do not breathe as you breathe. My pulse is centuries. My thoughts take millennia to unfold. I was born in fire, thrust upward from the earth's molten gut. I cooled into silence. For an age, I only listened, to glaciers grinding my flanks, to rivers chiseling scars into my sides. When the first forests grew, I watched. When the first hunters crossed my valleys, I watched. Their lives were flickers, sparks on the wind. I thought my silence was enough. But silence is not the same as peace. Humans drilled into me, clawing out our veins that had lain in darkness since before the seas were seas. Each strike rang through me like pain. Yet even then, I remained patient. It was only when they dug too deep that I heard the first whisper. Not words. Not sound. A vibration. A voice carried in pressure, in fault lines. Something older than me, older than Earth itself. Still you sleep, it murmured. And I wondered, had I been dreaming all this time? The whisper came again, louder. Every time a pickaxe struck, every time dynamite roared, the vibration spread. Caverns opened like mouths. Stalactites hummed with resonance that no human ear could detect, but I felt them. The miners began to see things in the dark. Shapes carved into stone that no hand made. Passages rearranging themselves overnight. Fossils that twitched when touched. Some fled. Others stayed. Their shouts echoed into me, and the whisper answered. Let them bleed. Let them feed. Then war came. Cannon fire cracked against me. Trenches carved scars across my shoulders. Men spilled their lives into my soil until the rivers themselves ran red. I had thought myself beyond caring. But as fire rained and steel split me, I began to wonder. Had my silence allowed this? Had I mistaken patience for wisdom, while the world turned savage around me? And beneath the thunder of war, the whisper grew. It no longer spoke in half-echoes. It shouted. Open. 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 For the first time, I tried to answer. I pushed my voice upward, a groan through shifting strata, a rumble that shook trenches and shattered rifles. Men froze, eyes wide, thinking it was thunder. But the whisper did not stop. It pressed harder, cracking me from within. You are not mountain. You are doorway. And then I understood. The fissures the humans had carved were not wounds. They were keys. And the war had turned them all at once. The battlefield fell silent, not from peace, but from terror. Because my slopes moved. Stone should not move, not like that. Angles shifted where no fault line should be. Valleys twisted into spirals. The sky itself seemed wrong, as though bent over my peak. Men screamed as trenches stretched into chasms, swallowing them whole. Rivers boiled upward instead of down. And deep inside me, something vast and coiled began to stir, not flesh, not spirit, but thought. A thought too large for me to contain. Every grain of me trembled with it. I felt voices crawling like ants in my rock. They were not human. They were not mine. They were older. They sang in chords too deep for lungs, too vast for mouths. Their song carried hunger, and their hunger carried eternity. When humans pressed their ears against my caves, they wept blood. When they lit lanterns, shadows twisted into shapes they had no names for. And still the whisper rose. Do not resist. You are not the end. You are the beginning. Then the truth. I had thought myself permanent. But permanence was a lie. I was never the mountain. I was never the silence. I was the seal. And as the war cracked me open, the thing beneath, the true mountain, the buried titan whose bones had worn the mask of stone, began to rise. Its eye opened in a cavern miles wide, staring upward through me, through soil, through sky. And I realized with horror, my patience had not preserved the world. It had only given it time. Time enough for men to dig too deep. Time enough for war to turn the key. Time enough for what slept beneath me to awaken. Now, when wind cuts across my ridges, it carries more than air. It carries whispers. Warnings. Echoes of something vast that should have remained buried. And I ask myself, if eternity itself can break, what hope does flesh have? If this story left you uneasy, if you felt the weight of the stone pressing in, then hit like, leave a comment, and tell me, what do you think lies beneath us, waiting for time and silence to break? And of course, subscribe for more journeys into the strange and the cosmic.